Hello everyone and welcome to another disused railway walk, and I'm back in Nottinghamshire. I've not done one in Nottinghamshire for a while, but we are kind of going to step into Derbyshire when we get to the other end. I'm on part of the former Midland Railway. It's the railway line between Mansfield Woodhouse, that is over there, and we're going to head off towards Pleasley. So it's around about 1.5 miles in length, opened in 1882, passenger services commenced in 1886, and it lasted until January 1965. So around about a half mile over there we've got the active Mansfield to Worksop Railway. There's a huge quarry over there which I believe is now a landfill, and this is Shire Road, and the line used to come across just here and pick up the track bed that you can see just in front of me. I find it extraordinary actually that this footpath has got a maximum headroom thing just above it. Look at that. That's peculiar. What did they expect to be coming up there? Anyway, obviously, right at the other end is Pleasley Colliery. There used to be a viaduct that went over Outgang Lane just before Pleasley. And of course, we've got the Pleasley Mills on the right-hand side. So, taking a look at railmaponline.com, on the right-hand side from top to bottom, that yellow line, that is the current active Nottingham, Mansfield and Worksop Robin Hood railway line. But we're following the yellow line that goes from right to left, and that is the former Midland Railway off towards Pleasley. And we'll pass where the former sidings were, and the north sidings, and also where Pleasley Vale Mills are. And they're still there today. They're very, very old, but they're used for different purposes. Next up is where the former Pleasley Viaduct once stood very proudly. There's nothing left of this at all, not even the remains of rubble. It's quite surprising to believe what was actually there. We'll then curve off into Pleasley itself and where Pleasley West Station once stood, and there is a few remainders there of this station, which is quite exciting. I've never seen this before. And also Pleasley Colliery, which closed in 1983. The land occupied by Pleasley Mills, there has been some sort of industry on there since the 17th century. I believe there was a forge there to begin with, and then 3 further mills were then built. I believe some of those, maybe 2 of them, were actually set on fire or burnt down in the mid-1900s. We've also got Pleasley Colliery at the other end. That was first sunk and opened, I believe, in 1872. So I've got the drone with me, so I'll try and get as much aerial footage as I can before we end up at our destination. What I have found fascinating so far is the boundary of the railway has stone wall. Look, you see it just there, and on the other side as well, all the way along, which I find is quite unusual for the Midlands, especially Nottinghamshire. It's usually metal posts or wooden boundary fences or metal wiring of some sort. The embankment is getting quite high right now. If I take you over here, you can just make out the grounds of the mills coming into sight. There's a clearer example of that stone walling up going across there. So that would have took a lot of man hours and money and stone to put this up on both sides. I can't tell if down, you see how steep down the embankment is now. But yes, there's still a stone wall just down there. Well, this is a little beauty, isn't it? Triple arches, stonework from top to bottom, no sign of any standard brick whatsoever. It looks so lost with all that greenery attached to it. I wonder if we can get up on top. So before we go through it or underneath it and carry on, I'm going to have a look, because I saw a little opening just here that may get us round and we can see what is up there. Just walk around here a little bit. Clearly we're going on an incline. which I'm hoping will take us round to this bridge. Whether we can get on top, I think it's getting closer. But let's speed things up a little bit. Here we go. And it looks like it is a kind of footpath. Although it may have been closed off at some point, look, but we can get on top. Look at this. Stone wall on both sides. Look over the top here. And that is where we've just come from. Mansfield Woodhouse in that direction there. But on the other side it's even better. Look at that cutting. That steep cutting, rock formation on both sides. So it looks like it would have been single track. Also supposedly along this route, either beside the railway or down between the mills, is supposedly ancient caves. Unsure if we'll actually see any of those, but I will keep my eyes peeled for them. Let's cross on over to the other side and see what we're presented with. The stone walling carrying on all the way to the edge. Look, former gate post just there, so I'm assuming it would have just been for farm access. So that's what we've got looking back. Coping stone just there, look, and we can see down into that first arch as well. Look, here's a little view of what it looks like on the other side. Look, so stone wall down and the first arch, and the former track bed is just there. Back down at the bridge, look, looking back towards Mansfield Woodhouse. Apologies for the sun's glare. There we go, a nice view of those triple arches. So this is the other side of the bridge that we got to. You can see underneath how clean that stonework looks. It's in brilliant condition, isn't it? It's sat on this cut out stone, this natural rock. Again, you can see on the other side, look, it looks a bit muckier on that side, the stonework on the archway, but still a lot more natural rock formations under that arch, isn't there? Right, so let's push on. Let's leave that beautiful bridge behind and move further away from Mansfield and Mansfield Woodhouse, and we'll follow this cutting. Very rugged and steep on this side, and a little more slopey on that side with more greenery. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for anything that looks like these caves that have been mentioned along this route, but they could be on the other side of that embankment. I've also read things that it is between the, oh look, there's a bit of an opening just here, look. It doesn't seem to go far. I think with a bit of wiggle room, I can see the back. You can't see it on the camera, but it seems to just go slightly out of sight behind that rock. So we found one, only a little one, so not going in that one. Let's push on. So I've just come up from the track bed, that is just there, and that first little cave we saw was over there. But look round here, a little gated off entrance, or a former entrance, but it looks like it's all collapsed, doesn't it? But did he actually use it? It must have gone further. Why would they have gated it up? There's a padlock on there, look. That's wood there, look. Shoring that up. So that's holding something up, isn't it? But rotten wood isn't really gonna... Let's put the camera behind. Can't really see anything, can we? Let's put the camera behind, see if we can see anything. No, so that's on top of the wood, look. It doesn't really give much away, does it? But above it, look, you can see where it's been reinforced to stop it collapsing. Look at the colour of this rock as well. So that's a curious little find, isn't it? If anybody knows if that used to go further into the rock and the hillside, comment below, because I'd be interested to know if that is actually a collapsed cave just there. Old concrete sleeper on the floor, look. Is it a Dalmac? Looks like it. Yep. I didn't really expect to see concrete sleepers on this route, to be honest. Another one here. Right in the centre, look. And they're logs. So 2 sleepers. I shall keep an eye out for anything else railway related along here. See, that up there looks like an old cave opening, doesn't it, as well? Let's go and have a, if I can. Oh, that's it, look. That's all it does. So is that another one that's collapsed? Because that looks very soily in there. Hopefully the camera picks it up. I've got to try and get down now. Some reinforcing of the embankment happened just there as well, look. So it's obviously eroded away over time with rainfall. So this is the first time I've seen wooden fencing on the boundary of the railway. You can see some old buildings, brick buildings with tiled roofs, maybe mill warehouses. We've still got the stone wall on the southern side of the embankment, although we're not so much on an embankment anymore. There's a bit of a drop down on the right, which I might be able to show you. If we just go through this gap in the fence, give you a better picture of where we are. Look. Old staircase down there, look at a bridge into what was probably a fire exit at one time just there. Where you can see it's been breeze blocked up. There's an old fire assembly point just there, look. These buildings are pretty much like they're on stilts. Really nice views of the Pleasley Mills over there. What I'm curious about now, the trackbed goes that way, but where does this go? And does it actually go anywhere? Is it a path? Let's get down here and see what's at the bottom. See, it looks like it's worn down, but it could be wildlife. But it looks quite heavily worn down. So there's the embankments, the railway, look. But this does go on some way. And there, through the trees, is your answer. There's a bridge, look at that. That's good, isn't it? There's a gap in the fence. I'm going to come back and look at that. I'm just interested to see what this is. So, wow, there's nothing at all. I thought there might be a stream or something. So there is a public footpath, it appears, just here. But you're probably supposed to go up there, but I'm going to go in here. Why not? And we can have a nice little look at this bridge. And look at the way, if I get you out of the sun's glare, the stonework curves, look. We've seen this before in brickwork on other bridges, similar to the one at Criggleston Viaduct. And on the other side you can see it's exactly the same. Comes in at that angle and then straightens off all the way over. Just look at that stonework, it's so clean. And again on the other side, look, you can see where that stonework, it curves, it lips up, look. Goes all the way over. There's a curve right in the centre. If I get you out of the glare, or attempt to, it curves just slightly and back down to the other side. Externally, look, you can see the abutment and coping stones going all the way up across the top. Peculiar orange finish to the stonework there, where it's been weathered, or is it just natural reaction to the sandstone and the stone abutments on this side? Brilliant, isn't it, that? Right, time to make my way up to the track bed again. Quite a long way. You can see a little bit better from that angle, and the bridge we've just been stood next to and underneath as well. So I shall see you back up there. So back up top on the track bed now. The bridge, we've just crossed it on that bend behind us, and this is our view going forwards. It's an old little bridge just here, look, so can we get down and have a little nosy at that? Old farm access, isn't it? There's the abutment and coping stone. It is barbed wired off, so I'm not going to get very close to it. But there it is. Maybe we can see it from the other side. No, it's barbed wired off down there. There's a gate there anyway, but you can see it, look, from the other side. We can't get down, but it's only a tiny one. We're coming to the end of the track bed as it is, because I mentioned at the beginning of the video, on this walk there used to be a viaduct down here, a stone viaduct. Got blown up in spectacular fashion. I believe there were stories of the workers at the mills coming out to watch this on their lunch break when it got blown up. So the footpath is asking me to go that way, but I'm going to push on to the very end because I can see the track bed dipping down and disappearing, which would have led on to our old stone viaduct. I believe this was only surveyed a year before it was blown up too, and the result of this survey, it was fine for another 50 odd years. Strange. And right there, look, you can see the track bed drop away down to an embankment. And I'm looking left to right and I cannot see any foundations or stonework stumps where this was once stood. But you can see that sudden drop down, and you've got the Meaden at the bottom, so it will take us down this way rather than follow the footpath. But I'm still keeping an eye out for any remnants of this vast construction that was blown up in 1965. Evidence of stone all along here, but whether that's just naturally laying there or it is from when it was destroyed, unsure. So I'm now stood right below where this viaduct would have once been. There's the embankment leading up. We've just come down there, back to the track bed, so you've got to imagine how high this was. Coming across, straight across the River Meaden, and continuing its journey over there and curving around to where Pleasley Colliery is. Quite a flow on here, but it's quite a small river in a narrow valley where this would have once crossed. Curiously, this stone's going up there, that they were probably put in a long time ago just to get down to the river. I'm not actually stood in the water, just stood on a rock. It's like stepping stones coming across. So now I need to carry on along the river up towards Pleasley and then pick the route up again at Pleasley Colliery. Right, so next up, our railway came all the way across here over what is now the new bypass. That was opened in 1976. This is the original road, AU617, between Chesterfield and Mansfield. We've got what was formerly Pleasley West Station, and look what still remains. It's the old stairwell going up to the platforms. How about that? Still got the old handrails, look, coming down and going up the opposite side. What a brilliant thing that is. That's a nice bit of history. Still got the coping stones, look, on both sides too, and the stone wall and metal fencing. And it's even still got the Department for Transport bridge number just there, look, TSC 124. So continuing on from our Pleasley West station just over there, the track bed came along and it met up with Pleasley Colliery, hiding behind the trees. I'm going to put the drone up for you so you can have a look at her in all her glory. Now a heritage museum and closed since 1983, opening in 1886. Now the railway, it does carry on, and I'm going to push on another day towards Teversall. I've not done that one yet. There's also some more of the Great Central line headed off towards Glatwell, where we could even pick up some of the former Lancashire, Derbyshire and East Coast Railway for another walk. Who knows? There's plenty to do around this area, and I absolutely will be back. For now, I'm going to leave you with the sights of Pleasley Colliery.